5 Sports.
From the Leavey Center on the campus of Santa Clara University, this is the WCC on ESPN+. Tonight it's the Santa Clara Broncos back at home hosting the Pepperdine Waves. Hi again, everybody. I'm Joe Ritzo alongside Micah Paik. Great to be with you here from the Leavey Center. And Micah, big game in conference early on, but a Santa Clara team looking to bounce back after a couple of losses on a road trip.
Yeah, both teams are on a 2-game slide, so both of them are going to come out very desperate to get a win tonight, especially that it's an in-conference game. Should be some good basketball tonight.
Santa Clara undefeated on their home floor this year, 6-0. They beat Pacific in their conference opener, but back-to-back losses at Gonzaga and Portland on that most recent trip against a Pepperdine team also at 1-2 in conference play. They haven't played in a week. Their last action was on a Thursday, suffered a 19-point loss at USF. The starting lineups tonight, first for the visiting Waves, who come in with a 5-11 overall record. The big name there is Jane Waba, the senior forward from Carson, California, the leading scorer, the leading rebounder. She's the team leader on this Pepperdine squad. Ross, Vic, Malone, and Friend round out the starting 5 for the Pepperdine Waves. Meanwhile, for the Santa Clara Broncos, 13-5 overall. A very familiar starting 5 for their head coach, Bill Carr, Keely Frawley, Olivia Pollard, Laura Edmondson, Ashley Hiraki, and Santa Clara's leading scorer, Tess Heel, at just a shade under 18 points per game, second in the WCC in scoring.
Yeah, she's been unbelievable. Just named Becky Harmon mid-major player of the year watch list. Get ready for her to have a big game tonight.
Heel has scored in double figures in every game, 20-plus points in each of her last 3 contests. Broncos in the home whites, Pepperdine in the road navy blues. And we are underway here from the Leavey Center as Santa Clara controls the opening tip. This is truly a revenge game for the Broncos, as Santa Clara and Pepperdine played each other 3 times last season, and Pepperdine won all 3, including a first-round matchup in the WCC tournament, as Ashley Hiraki buries a 3.
Bang,
and the Broncos
bang.
on the board 3-0.
Good job bailing them out there on a broken play. A nice 3 there for a bailout bucket.
Hiraki had been struggling a bit shooting from distance, only her 12th made 3 of the season. Gets the Broncos on the board. Here's Ross, a freshman operating underneath. The shot blocked and controlled by Pollard. It's a Pepperdine team that has struggled offensively this season. They average only 58 points per game. That is last in the conference. Here's Frawley. Corner 3 is off the side of the backboard, and a long rebound to Malone. Early first quarter action here at Santa Clara. Broncos up 3-0. And this was a Pepperdine team that ended Santa Clara's season last March with quite the comeback effort. Pepperdine was down 14 in the third quarter that day in Las Vegas, came back and beat the Broncos as that pass knocked out of bounds. And the turnover will give it back to Santa Clara. It's been a problem all year for the Waves. 21 turnovers per game. That's the most of any of the teams in the WCC.
Yeah, they're just a little too unselfish, making one too many passes there, leading that turnover.
Broncos up 3-0. Here's Keely Frawley off of her best game of the season. Drops it off for Laura Edmondson. Make it 5-0 Santa Clara.
Little Butch and Butch, nice 2-man game there for the Broncos.
Edmondson averages 7 points per contest, part of this very experienced Broncos roster. A lot of these players were a part of that Santa Clara team last season that just could not get over the hump against this Pepperdine squad. Here's Waba with it on the wing. Now a long 2, rims out from Vic, and the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll go to Santa Clara with the Broncos leading 5-0.
Yeah, good opening defense there from the Broncos. That's the person you kind of want taking a longer shot. Really want to get the ball out of Nwaba's hands and make anybody else beat you for this Pepperdine team.
There's Bill Carr, 8th-year head coach for the Broncos. 4th most wins in school history. A Santa Clara team that got off to a great start this season, looking to even up their WCC record tonight. Shot clock winding down. Here's a cross-court pass, a little too tall, over the head of Pollard, and the first Santa Clara turnover.
You like what you see from the Broncos here early, though, Joe. They're getting open players. They're just missing some of the passes, a little too high there, but she was wide open in the corner.
Pepperdine still looking to break through here. But the Broncos up 5-0. Nearly 3 minutes gone by here in the first quarter. Waba from the free throw line, and the Waves are on the board. Waba about 10 points per game. Filled up the stat sheet in Pepperdine's most recent contest. 11 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Near to triple-double in that loss to USF. Heel driving, her first shot attempt. It goes, plus the foul. And a three-point opportunity for Tess Heel. So a good start for the Broncos with a 7-2 lead. I'll take a look at our keys to the game now, and we'll start on the Santa Clara side, brought to you by 8-Tool Shed Rentals.
Yeah, the first key is big one is defense. The Broncos are 2-5 when they allow 60 or more points in a game. Thankfully, the Waves average just under 58 points a game, which is 9th in the WCC. If they can keep them there, they should be good. And the other key is score in other ways. The Waves are the best team in the WCC when it comes to opposing teams' field goal and three-point percentages. But they give up a lot of additional opportunities. They allow a league-worst 17 free throws per game, turn the ball over 20 times per game, as you mentioned. So the Broncos need to be active at defense, attack the glass, and attack the rim. And finally, they need to punch them in the mouth. This is a game that it could be over before it even gets started. The Broncos need to come out with energy, which they have. The Waves are 2-9 when they are down at halftime. So setting the tone early could be paramount in winning this ball game.
Yeah, I think Santa Clara's defensive energy and intensity has been there here early. The Broncos up 8-2. First quarter action. Tess Heel, who just had the three-point play, as her pass knocked away. Ball's on the floor. And we're going to get a held ball. It'll go to Pepperdine on the alternating possession.
And Joe, you can just see, I mean, this team was pretty much all here last year, and they know the feeling of losing 3 games last year, knocked them out of the WCC tournament, and you can see the desperation they're playing with. This is more than just a simple home game for them.
Brubaker and Caton check in for Pepperdine. Mariah Hudgens off the bench for Santa Clara. Coming up on 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Pepperdine's only attempted 2 shots from the field. They've already turned it over 3 times. There's a drive and a nice finish from Ross. Freshman forward from Milwaukee.
Yeah, Ross has been unbelievable. 2-time player of the week already this year.
Left-handed runner rolls off from Olivia Pollard, and it's out of bounds to Pepperdine. 8-4 Broncos leading. Santa Clara 3 out of 5 from the field. Broncos looking to bounce back after a couple of losses last week at Gonzaga and at Portland. Portland game was relatively close in the fourth quarter. Broncos really were never in their game against Gonzaga, the first place team in the conference. There's a finish and an and one for Caton. And Pepperdine pulls back to within 2. All right, our keys to the game, Mike, on the Pepperdine side.
Yeah, first one is obviously limit Heel, the obvious one. She has been many teams' Achilles heel. She is averaging 18 points per game on ridiculous shooting splits, so stopping her is the first key. Secondly, they need to run the Broncos off the three-point line. The Broncos are the second best three-point shooting team in the WCC, hovering just under 34% from outside the line. Force them to drive and make them beat you with 2s. And finally, they need to defend without fouling. The Waves have had trouble getting handsy and fouling a lot this year, and this is a Broncos team that will make you pay if you do that. They are first in the WCC in free throw percentage at 82%.
Free throw is good from Caton, who is in her 8th year playing college basketball. Injury plagued early in her career. Some extra seasons of eligibility. Here's Hudgens. Misses the shot, but taps the rebound out to Hiraki. Broncos still with it, up by 1 as Hudgens drops it off for Schaefer. Back to Pollard, straight on 3 is no good. And a rebound to KK Brody, just in for Pepperdine. Griffiths gives it up. This is a deep Waves team. In fact, both of these teams figure to go deep into their benches, as that pass thrown away by Caton. And another Pepperdine turnover will bring us to our first timeout of the evening. 4:45 to go in the first quarter. Broncos have the early 8-7 lead. Back here in Santa Clara, Broncos leading the Waves 8-7. First of two meetings this year between Santa Clara and Pepperdine. They'll meet again next month down in Malibu. This is the first of three straight home games for the Broncos as Matty Narrows in, has the ball knocked away, and we'll get a held ball. Caden, good defense there. That's the 8th-year player matching up against the freshman.
Yeah, what a two different worlds right there. It's good to see Matty Narrow get some early minutes as a freshman, get some playing time out here against a good Pepperdine squad.
Could very well be a defensive battle here, as you highlighted, Micah. These are two excellent defensive teams.
Yeah, both teams playing very aggressive defensively, too. You can just see it. The running teams out to the three-point line, closing out well on shooters. As there, though, Olivia Pollard gets one to go down.
Much needed for Pollard. She made just 1 3 during the 2-game road trip last week. Such a big part of her game. She's second in the WCC and made 3-point field goals. But look, the Broncos, they're not afraid to slow it down, grind it out. They can beat you in a lot of different ways. We've seen them go up and down and win that way several times this year. Probably won't be that kind of game tonight, although perhaps a transition opportunity here off the steal. Narrow quickly into the front court, finds Pollard. She's cut off. Pollard gets it back in the corner and hits another three.
Bang,
Olivia
bang,
Pollard.
Bang. Olivia Pollard back-to-back, man.
And that'll force the Pepperdine timeout. Great sign for the Santa Clara Broncos. Back-to-back threes for Pollard. And the Broncos have opened up their largest lead here in the early going. Time now for Know Your Foe. First meeting of the year. Santa Clara against Pepperdine. Of course, Pepperdine in beautiful Malibu down in Southern California. A little over 3,600 undergraduate students. And we see some notable alumni as well.
Yes, Heath Tagala, a alumni of Pepperdine. I actually got a chance to meet him down playing golf at the Olympic Club. What a great guy. Great school, great program they have down there for the golf world.
Did he talk about his time, Pepperdine?
He did. Yeah, he enjoyed it down there. I mean, you can't beat Malibu, California, can you?
All right, Pepperdine out of the timeout. Now trailing 14-7. 3.5 to go here in the first quarter. Pepperdine 3 out of 4 shooting the basketball. The issue has been turnovers. 4 turnovers in the first 6.5 minutes of this game. Shot clock inside of 10. Brubaker gets cut off, trying to find a cutting teammate, and the pass knocked away and stolen. Broncos will look to push. Baraki drops it off. Olivia Pollard, yes, again, 3 in a row for Pollard.
Reservations from 3. Olivia Pollard hot from beyond the arc to start the night.
Shaking off that tough shooting road trip. Olivia Pollard getting back to her ways here at home. And she leads all scorers with 9 first quarter points. Pepperdine looking to answer. Brubaker's 3 rattles out. And a Broncos rebound with Santa Clara right now on a 9-0 run. It's really Olivia Pollard on a 9-0 run. With the lead at 17-7. Here's Hudgens driving, and she traveled.
Just one too many steps there. Go back to the Brubaker 3. Get ready to see a lot of that. I know she just got subbed out, but when she comes in the game, she's there to shoot the basketball at 45.8% from beyond the arc this year.
Heels back in for the Broncos. Jade Kadee also checks in for the first time.
Going back to your point, Joe, just so many shooters they have. Anytime they sub somebody in, you look down at your notes, you're like, that's another shooter they got in the game.
Broncos make about 7.5 threes per game. That's second in the conference. They've already hit 4 in the first quarter tonight to build this lead. Here's another steal. 10-point Santa Clara advantage. Late stages here of the first quarter. Kadee gives it up to Pollard. Nice bounce pass to Emma Schaefer. A great ball movement from Santa Clara.
Yeah, you know, Bill Carr's happy, loves when this team keeps the ball moving and the ball doesn't stick on offense.
Broncos shooting it at 64% from the floor, 7 for 11. And they're on an 11-0 run now over the last 2.5 minutes. This will stay on the Pepperdine side as Edmondson checks back in for the Broncos. Maggie Vick returns for Pepperdine. 1:40 to go here in the first quarter. Baseline inbounds for the Waves. Here's a little scoop shot that misses from Friend, and Schaefer pulls down the rebound.
Pepperdine needs to be careful, in danger of falling behind really big at the end of this first quarter.
Here's Mariah Hudgens, and Hudgens is on the board. She averages 9.5 points per game off the bench this year for Santa Clara. It's a 13-0 Broncos run. Pepperdine's gone over 4 minutes now without scoring. Operating underneath, Ross misses, ball's on the floor, and we'll get another held ball, and it'll stay down on this side with Pepperdine.
I mean, Joe, you can see why they have struggled this season, and it's just been because of the turnovers. I mean, already in this game, they have a lot of turnovers, 20.7 averaging per year, last in the WCC. Just been a killer offensively.
7 first quarter turnovers for the Waves. As many turnovers as points right now, as Waba's baseline jumper off the mark. Broncos are controlling the glass here early. Final minute of the first quarter. Heel blows right by the defense and finishes.
Man, just too easy for Tess Heel. She is so good, isn't she?
15 straight points for Santa Clara and a 23-7 lead. Broncos looking for some home cooking back here in the South Bay this week, and they're getting it early. Schaefer pulls that rebound. Basically no difference between shot clock and game clock. Broncos can hold it if they want. And now we get a whistle and maybe a clock issue here. They're going to just turn the shot clock off with 14.3 on the clock.
Let's see if they just let Heel go here in isolation. Final 14 seconds of this quarter.
Pepperdine knows that, trying to deny her the ball. Finally gets it with 8 seconds left. Heel driving, contact, and a foul with 4.7 remaining.
Great job there by Heel in the late clock, finding a way to get the way to the charity stripe there. You know, I call her the Red Rocket. You know, she's just so fast off the dribble. She can beat you with that quick first step of hers.
Second in the conference in scoring. She's got 5 early points tonight. First free throw is good. Tess Heel usually pretty automatic at the line at 91%. Two out of 2. 25-point first quarter here for Santa Clara. Pollard back in for Schaefer. Pepperdine will have to hurry here with 4.7 on the clock. Waba quickly into the front court. A long three, and it's off the mark. And that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. The Broncos end the quarter on a 17-0 run and lead it after one here at the Leavey Center. It's Santa Clara 25, Pepperdine 7. (25-7). Santa Clara the lead after one quarter. Broncos on a 17-0, now 19-0 run. As Laura Edmondson, a bucket to start quarter number 2. Santa Clara shooting it at 71% from the floor. Hit 4 threes in that first quarter. Pepperdine at 30% shooting, and those 7 first quarter turnovers.
You're really just coming from the ball, popping on offense. Everyone's getting a chance to touch the ball.
4 to shoot here. Malone's got to go. Step back 3 off the back rim. And a long rebound to Pollard. Going on nearly 5 minutes without a point for the Pepperdine Waves. Heel down low to Olivia Pollard. Couldn't finish. Gets her own miss, though. And Pollard on a second chance opportunity. The first player to double figures. She's got 11.
Gotta love how Pollard's playing. Several bites at the apple there. Finally gets one to go. Outside, inside, doing it all.
Pollard 5th in the conference in scoring at 14 per game. Off to a great start. But she is what really got the Broncos going in that first quarter with those 3 made threes in a row. Here's Ross down low. It's Pollard with the defense. Ross gets it back and able to get one to go finally for Pepperdine. Their first points in 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, I think Pepperdine in that first quarter kind of got caught up in the Broncos' pace. You mentioned this game should be played in the mud. Pepperdine was out there running with the Broncos, not what you want to see.
Ends the 21-0 run for Santa Clara. Pollard's 3 rolls out and a Waves rebound. 29-9 is the Santa Clara lead. Rare transition opportunity for the Waves, but Friend misses the baseline jumper, and back the other way we go. Heel, the blow by, and we get an offensive foul. And that'll be away from the ball on Laura Edmondson, clearing space, I think, for Tess Heel.
Her first team foul in the quarter.
Yeah, unnecessary there. Tess Heel had the step there, really didn't need to see that happen. Kind of erased a layup there for no reason.
Ashley Haraki back in for the Broncos. Malia Latu into the game for the first time as well for Santa Clara, the junior guard from East Palo Alto. 20-point lead for Santa Clara. Pepperdine looking for offense, and they'll get to the line. Ella Brubaker's fouled.
Yeah, exactly what you expect Kelsey Kaiser to do. Need some offense, bring in Brubaker, someone who can score in a hurry. The team's second best scorer for Pepperdine.
Brubaker, one of 8 transfers on this Pepperdine roster. We talk about last year, the Waves winning all 3 of the head-to-head meetings. A lot of the Broncos were a part of last year's team. They may remember that. Not really the case on the other side. So many new faces on this Pepperdine squad. And really no surprise given that they got off to such a slow start in the non-conference as we get a foul in the backcourt on Friend. That'll be her second.
Yeah, I think the most important thing in almost any team sports is continuity. And Broncos have it, brought back almost everybody, same head coach as well. Waves, new head coach, new team, 10 new players as total. Hard to get your feet started and get set.
And there are no breaks in the WCC season. Pepperdine did pick up a win against San Diego in their conference opener, but losses the last 2 times out. Both of these teams off to 1 and 2 starts in conference play. Here's Heel with the dribble. Ball was knocked to Latu. Latu able to finish. Nice move, Malia Latu. Always creative around the bucket. And her first points of the night.
Off the bench in the game with some English off the glass. Nice to see there from Latu.
Good to see Latu playing. Missed a lot of the non-conference due to injury. 3-point shot, no good. And Frawley on the rebound gets knocked to the floor. There'll be a foul on Ross, which will be her second.
Ross, her second team foul in the quarter.
Ross will head to the bench as Brody back in. Pepperdine's going to pick up some full court pressure here with Santa Clara leading 31-10. 6:50 to go until halftime. Broncos across the timeline. And now they'll set up the offense. Santa Clara led by Olivia Pollard's 11. Heels got 7. Broncos still shooting it at 67% from the floor. Here's Pollard, 5 to shoot. Heel with it. Late clock. Finds an open Frawley in the corner. Misses the 3. Pollard, though, the offensive rebound and the easy putback.
Man, she just seems to be at the right place at the right time tonight. Offensive rebounds, 3-point shooting, she's doing it all.
Make it 13 points now for Olivia Pollard. Pepperdine has had no answer for the junior forward from Melbourne, Australia. Good defense here, the kick out. Now Brody going baseline. Good defense from Pollard, 6 to shoot. And the pass goes out across the timeline. It'll be a race for it, and it's out of bounds to Santa Clara as Pepperdine commits their 8th turnover.
It's like there's 5 Pollards out there. That's her again there, being in position, getting the stop, forcing that turnover and that bad pass. Pollard just seems to be everywhere tonight.
Been an excellent first half so far for this Santa Clara team. They're right now on a 25-3 run, going back to about the midpoint of the first quarter. Frawley's 3 off the mark. Brubaker the rebound. Here's Brody down low. Gives it up to Griffiths. Active hands underneath from the Broncos defensively. Forces a tie-up. And Keely Frawley is down. And in some obvious pain right now.
Let's hope she's okay. Last thing you want to see here, one of your starting players down there on the ground.
Broncos are a bit short-handed right now on the front line. Both Georgia Grigoropoulou and Danya Stafford not dressed for this game tonight. And now obviously concerned with Frawley. Good to see her sitting up, but clearly wincing in pain. And now up on her feet.
Hopefully she's okay. Coming off her best game of the season, had 13 points against the Pilots last Saturday. So hopefully she's okay. She brings another offensive weapon for this team, someone who can dribble and shoot from the outside.
Yeah, no surprise that Keely Frawley's best game coming against her former team, Portland. And good to see her walk off the court on her own there, but heads right to the locker room. 5:24 to go here until halftime. Emma Schaefer replaces Frawley. It'll be a baseline inbounds here for Pepperdine. 33-10 is the Santa Clara lead, as Ashley Haraki is able to knock that one away, and another Santa Clara steal. However, Tess Heal's pass thrown onto the Pepperdine bench. The Broncos give it right back.
Heel there with a rare mistake. You know, she just plays at a different speed. Sometimes she's seen things before her teammates does.
Megan Harkey, senior center, North Carolina, into the game for the first time for Pepperdine. It's pretty imposing front line for the Waves. Trying to use that to their advantage here against this Santa Clara team, something they haven't really been able to do yet tonight. This stifling Broncos defense. Malone getting trapped. Her pass is knocked away and stolen.
Excellent defense.
Heel with it. She'll step back. A long 2 is perfect.
Why not? A great job there by the Broncos. They found the 5'3" Malone there, sent 2 big guards to trap her. Nowhere she could go.
Another bucket for the Broncos. Another Pepperdine timeout. Santa Clara up 25.
And disappearing. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Back here at the Leavey Center, it's been all Santa Clara thus far in this first half. The Broncos up 35-10. Olivia Pollard leading the way with 13 points. Broncos a little pressure as Pepperdine into the front court. Waves shooting it at just 27% from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point range. Here's a three-point attempt, too long from Malone, and the Broncos with it. Addie Narrow back in for Santa Clara. She's got the basketball now. Pass to Pollard, dish to Emma Schaefer.
Just seems like every time the Broncos scored, Pollard touches the ball some part in the possession, doesn't it?
I think it's such an underrated part of Olivia Pollard's game. The offense, her shooting ability grabs so much attention. She is a tremendous passer. And you're right, good things happen when she has the basketball in her hands, either for herself or for her teammates.
In a team that's headlined with Tess Heel, Pollard's often forgot about sometimes, I feel like, when you face this team. But you mentioned pregame, Joe, just the depth the Broncos have, and Pollard's a great example of that.
She has found a home here at Santa Clara, the transfer from the University of Washington. Her second year in the program. Broncos with their largest lead of the night, and another layup, narrow the pass to Hudgens, and it's 39-10.
Great job by Hudgens, just moving without the ball. Awesome to see that. Always got to be moving when you don't have the ball. Pass and cut, baby.
67% from the floor for Santa Clara. And they're on a 10-0 run as the shot from Harkey too long. Got players on the deck, and we're going to get a Pepperdine foul here. With 3:04 on the clock. It'll be just the third team foul on the Waves. The foul on Griffiths.
Just seems like there's a lid on the rim for the Waves. We've talked about the turnovers, but even when they can get shots up, they're just not falling tonight.
Just 4 field goals for Pepperdine, 4 of 17. And they have been shut down by the Santa Clara defense here in the first half. Pollard gives it up to Narrow. Here's Jade Cadee, still 8 to shoot. Cadee finds a cutting Pollard, dumps it down. Pollard gets it back now, and the baseline jumper is good.
You saw her pass up that initial shot. It looked like she had a free, 5-6 footer there. Passed it up, got it right back, and still made the bucket.
Now we get a foul the other way, which will send Pepperdine to the line. Schaefer whistled for her first. Third Broncos team foul in the quarter. It'll be Masher at the line for 2. Junior guard from Helsinki, Finland. First free throw is off the mark.
You can just tell the Broncos, loser of their last 2, just came into this game. They lost to this team 3 times. I know a lot of these Pepperdine players aren't the same, but the jersey, the name across the jersey is still the same. They came out here with some energy, and they have blown it open here in the first half.
1 out of 2 at the line for Masher, makes it a 30-point margin, 41-11, Santa Clara. As we get a foul near center court, going to be on Waba, her first. 4 team fouls on Pepperdine. And look, this is a Pepperdine team. You mentioned it, they lead the conference field goal defense. This is an excellent defensive group, but they have had no answer for Olivia Pollard and the Broncos. Pollard again, why not?
Why not? In the mood for 3, Olivia Pollard is playing the horn tonight. Holy cow.
4th made 3 for Pollard. She's got 18 first half points. Underneath, and a bucket for Harkey. First points for Harkey. 44-13 Santa Clara. Final 2 minutes here of the first half. Pollard gets it back. She'll hoist again from 3, and she hits again.
Man, Struttin with some barbecue. Olivia Pollard is hot. Wow.
21 points now for Pollard. Her career high is 22, which she accomplished twice earlier this season. Most recently against UC Riverside. May very well eclipse that tonight in the first half. Here we get a steal. Waba in the clear, and a layup for 2.
That's what Nwaba does best, just like her brother. Played for the Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers. David Nwaba, defensive mastermind.
Jane is a really good player. Has been for a while in this conference as we get an and 1 for Tess Heel.
Right when Pollard starts taking over the show, you kind of forget about Tess Heel. Just has some quiet buckets. There again with the and 1.
And great to see Keely Frawley back into the game for the Broncos after she took a hard fall.
Yeah, very good to see Frawley back in. One of the hardest workers on this team. tonight she was out, first player on the court for either side, an hour and a half before tip-off, just getting in some shots with her trainer. Awesome to see.
Heel hits the free throw. She's perfect tonight. 4 of 4 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line.
Exactly what you'd expect.
12 points for Tess Heel. And the Broncos at 50 points now in this first half. As we get a whistle away from the ball is going to be on Olivia Pollard, her first and the 4th Broncos team foul. So it'll be a baseline inbounds for Pepperdine with 43.5 seconds left in the first half. First half dominated by the Santa Clara Broncos. Cher with it outside, looking for an opening. Down low to Harkey. It's knocked away by Pollard. And Broncos possession. Game clock, shot clock basically aligned here. As Santa Clara can hold it.
Let the freshman go to work here.
10 seconds left. Narrow still with it. 6 seconds. Still with a dribble. Narrow. Now a pass deflected into the hands of Olivia Pollard, and she scoops it in. A career-high 23 points in the first half for Olivia Pollard.
Just unbelievable basketball. All chords there for the Broncos.
The Olivia Pollard show here at the Leavey Center. And what a half of basketball for the Santa Clara Broncos back at home. 52-15 over the Pepperdine Waves. We'll have all the stats, highlights, and more at the half coming up next. At the half of the Leavey Center, 52-15, Santa Clara over Pepperdine. Be sure to join us this Saturday, January 20th, as the Santa Clara women's basketball team hosts USF at 1 p.m., followed by the Bronco men hosting Portland at 4 o'clock. Both games right here on ESPN+. Time now for our first half stats, brought to you by West Coast Sports Institute. And no surprise, Micah, the stats dominated by Santa Clara, 72% shooting in that first half.
Yeah, and that's mainly Olivia Pollard, the automatic Aussie. She had a rough night against Portland, you know. Just 3 for 14, excuse me, from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. But what a bounce back game for her. She has came in here ready to shoot. You know what they always say, shooters shoot. Don't worry about last game, don't worry about the last shot, just keep shooting.
12 first half turnovers for Pepperdine, certainly loom large for the Waves, who did not hit a three-pointer in that first half and shot the ball at only a 30% clip. Broncos did a pretty good job of taking care of the basketball with just those 6 turnovers. Individually, of course, Olivia Pollard already at her career high, 23 points on 9 of 13 shooting from the floor, 5 of 7 from three-point range. Plus 3 rebounds and a game-high 4 assists, getting her teammates involved. Tess Heel, the other Bronco, in double figures with 12. Waba and Ross with 4 points each to lead the way for Pepperdine.
Yeah, if you told me someone had 23 at the half, I would guess Tess Heel. Olivia Pollard, though, stealing the show here. Awesome to see her just go off in that first half.
Broncos at one point went on a 21-0 run in that first half. All Santa Clara here at the Leavey Center. Broncos have a 37-point halftime lead. We'll have more here from the Mission campus after this. Broncos lead the Waves 52-15 at the half here in Santa Clara. Today's game brought to you by DevCon Construction, building the future of Santa Clara athletics. Lux Bus America, covering more ground in more places. And by Pizza Chicago Santa Clara, serving the community since 1991. And also by One Workplace, creating spaces that inspire and transform the way you work. Here are the WCC standings, brought to you by Lenardi's Market. These are the overall standings here for the teams in the WCC. And look, for Santa Clara, at 13-5 overall, 1-2 in conference play. The Broncos, a team picked to finish tied for third. They have visions of defending home court if you truly want to be one of those top half teams. Games like this, the game Saturday against USF, you got to defend your home court before you can maybe take down some of the top teams in this conference.
No, absolutely. This is exactly what they needed to do. You know, you got to win the games you're supposed to win. The Pepperdine Waves 5-11. You knew Santa Clara was the better team, and they established that early in the first half.
Santa Clara dominating the first half here at the Leavey Center. First of two meetings this season between Santa Clara and Pepperdine. All right, we're going to go to another break, come back with all of the highlights. I have a feeling Olivia Pollard will be featured prominently. That's coming up right after this. Back here at the Leavey Center, the Broncos and the Waves. I'm Joe Ritzo along with Micah Paik. Broncos 52-15. The halftime lead over Pepperdine as we take a look at some of the first half highlights. And on the Pepperdine side, they were right there early. This was an 8-7 game. About halfway through the first quarter, Waba hit a couple of early buckets for Pepperdine. Leads this team in scoring. A nice move there from Caton. And the and one. Harkey late in the first half got something going. But not a whole lot offensively for this Pepperdine team, which shot at only 30% from the floor in that first half. Meanwhile, on the Santa Clara side, it's 72% shooting, including 6 of 11 from three-point range. It was all about Olivia Pollard in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see these highlights, and you see the offensive, and you see the scoring, but it's really a great job on the defensive end, turning defense into offense, causing a lot of turnovers. But, man, they were up 30, they were up 20, but they played like it was a tie ball game the whole way through on defense. Love to see that intensity, and I'm sure Bill Carr does too. Yeah, from the tip, the Broncos had it here tonight. We'll see if they can maintain it with the big lead. It's not often, especially in a conference game, you come back out from the halftime locker room with a 37-point lead. So we'll see how the Broncos handle that against this Pepperdine team. Broncos with 2 players in double figures in that first half. Of course, the Pollard 23, Heel with 12. Just a terrific half of basketball for Santa Clara. You mentioned the turnovers. Forced 12 Pepperdine turnovers, 7 first half steals for Santa Clara. Took control of the game with that 21-0 run late first, early second quarter. Unfortunately, 21-0 runs are not new to the Waves. They gave up a 21-0 run just last Thursday against USF, which was their undoing in the second quarter. So hopefully they can regroup here and at least get something positive. You're not trying to win the game at this point, but you're trying to take something from this game that leads into the next practice, the next game, the next week.
Yeah, eerily similar there for Pepperdine. They did compete and battle in that second half against the Dons, although ultimately came up short. Santa Clara with their starting 5 on the floor. Likewise, Pepperdine as we begin this third quarter here at the Leavey Center. And a 37-point advantage for the home team. Here's Tess Heel, drops it off to Laura Edmondson over 2 defenders, and Edmondson with another bucket. She's 3 of 3 from the floor, 6 points for the senior forward. Santa Clara picking up right where they left off. The Broncos' largest lead of the game right now, up 39. They get a blocked shot and then a held ball underneath. It'll stay with Pepperdine.
Yeah, Laura Edmondson there doing a great job grabbing that ball, not giving Pepperdine the easy second chance points there after a good Pollard block.
First possession here of the third quarter for the Waves. Waba with it. Hands it off to Friend. 3 to shoot. Waves have to go. Back to Friend with 1 on the shot clock. And the 3-point attempt off the front rim. And a Santa Clara rebound. Pretty good look, actually, there for Pepperdine.
Yeah, I was going to say one of their better offensive sets there, even after that out of bounds.
Tess Heel, her first miss of the night. Frawley fighting hard for the rebound, but it's ultimately controlled by Friend. Back the other way now for the Waves. 54-15 is the Santa Clara lead. Broncos looking to bounce back here tonight after a couple of losses on the road trip and looking to stay unbeaten this year on their home floor. As Waba, I don't know if that was a pass or if she just lost control of the basketball. But another turnover. Back to Santa Clara. A minute and a half gone by here in the third quarter.
You know, they need to put a mic on Bill Carr because you would not know that it's almost a 40-point ball game here.
Here's Laura Edmondson. Edmondson, who leads this Santa Clara team shooting from the field at 53%. And she's hit all 4 of her shots tonight.
Laura Hustle always working on the inside, fighting. You can see her right there just fighting for positioning, not letting anything easy happen.
Pepperdine looking for their first points of the quarter, and they'll get it. Lauren Ross as Pollard hit the deck. 6 points for Ross. That leads the Waves in scoring. She averages about 6 per game. Freshman forward. Looks like she's going to have a real nice career here with Pepperdine. Here's a cutting Ashley Haraki, and she'll get to the line. Nice look there from Heel.
Yeah, nice job moving without the ball there for Haraki, and a good find by Heel after she got shut off there and ran out of real estate.
It's the third foul on Waba. She is going to stay on the floor. Well, I think they're going to change that call. It's actually going to be on Malone. So still 2 on Waba, the first on Malone. And 2 free throws for Ashley Haraki, senior guard from nearby San Jose. 88% free throw shooter this season.
You would think that would be first in the team, but of course, Tess Heel at 91% from the stripe.
Gets both to roll in. Yeah, the Broncos 82% as a team.
Wow.
As you would expect, that leads the conference, one of the best marks in the country. And it comes in handy when you get into late, close game situations. We've seen it already this year. Here's a pass that's tipped, stolen by Santa Clara. Waba is still competing hard for Pepperdine, and ultimately the Broncos control it. Heel in transition. Heel plus the foul, and another 3-point opportunity.
Man, she is the Melbourne magician with how she always finds a way to get to the hoop and gets it to roll in. Great finishing, left hand or right hand. She can do it on both sides. Awesome to watch her play basketball, especially in transition. That's when she's at her best.
Yeah, once she gets downhill, so tough to stop. And look, she's added the all-around game this year. Her shooting numbers from the outside are vastly improved. Her assists right up there among the conference leaders. It's been a terrific all-around season. Looks to be headed for another first team all WCC honor. Here's Ashley Haraki with the steal and the bucket.
That's what she does. She comes in the game averaging 2 steals a game. Difference maker right there. Winning plays.
Broncos have outscored the Waves 11-2 here in the third quarter. Picking up right where they left off in that first half. Contested shot from Bick is left short. Here come the Broncos. Heel gets cut off this time, finds a wide open Ashley Haraki for 3.
A Haraki attack. Nice job there. Gets the steal on one end. The next position gets rewarded with the triple.
2 made threes tonight for Haraki. She's got 10. The third Broncos player into double figures. Santa Clara just dominating this game right now. As that 3-point attempt from Griffiths well off the mark. Frawley trying to hit Haraki in transition, but a Pepperdine steal. Malone behind her back. She'll kick it back out. Brubaker into the game again, gives it up to Griffiths. And Griffiths has the ball knocked out of bounds. Waves will keep it.
A nice job there by Brubaker on the defensive end, getting that steal and also staying in bounds and saving that basketball, giving Pepperdine another chance here.
It is a 49-point Santa Clara lead right now. 66-17, mid-third quarter here at the Leavey Center. Waves have still yet to make a three in this game. Another miss there. Edmondson thought about it. Instead, the Broncos will set up their offense. Edmondson gets it back. Posting up underneath, leaves it for Mariah Hudgens, misses. Schaefer the offensive rebound though, and will get a held ball.
Man, Schaefer just comes in and gets rebounds, doesn't she? Just overpowering the other players, able to gobble up some extra boards here, get an extra possession for the Broncos.
She had a 21 rebound game last season playing for Bucknell. Nearing the halfway point here of the third quarter. Third quarter, it's been dominated by Santa Clara as Tess Heel rolls in another.
With the left hand, that is pretty right there. 7-foot little jump shot. Rare to see a point guard be able to do that with both hands.
17 for Heel, and we'll get another Pepperdine timeout. The Broncos are on a 12-0 run. We've heard that before here in this one. And a 51-point Santa Clara lead. Broncos up big. Broncos have outscored the Waves 16-2 here in the third quarter. Have opened up a 51-point lead in this game. Santa Clara shooting at a sizzling 73%.
Wow.
From the floor. Out of the timeout here for Pepperdine. Malone drops it off for Harkey, and Harkey a nice move and a bucket.
Both teams are playing still like it's a tie ball game almost. You like the energy. It's what you want to see from both programs.
Pepperdine in a zone look here defensively. Addie Narrow running the point for Santa Clara. 10 to shoot, gives it up to Jade Kadee. Double team comes, now Edmondson going baseline, and she's fouled.
Bailed out by that foul there, but you kind of wish Pepperdine would have done the zone earlier. You could see how that worked. When they come on the zone, you got to go to the middle. Laura Edmonds flashed to the middle. They couldn't get the ball to her. You got to do that to break the zone.
Our Broncos upcoming schedule brought to you by Heffernan Insurance. And, well, they've got a couple of home games coming up next, San Francisco and then Gonzaga. This homestand off to a great start, with the Broncos leading 68-19. Free throws for Laura Edmondson here out of the timeout. 8 points for Laura today. And now a 50-point Santa Clara lead here over Pepperdine. Broncos have controlled this game really since about the midpoint of the first quarter. 1 out of 2 at the line for Edmondson. That's the first miss at the free throw line for Santa Clara tonight. 8 out of 9 now.
As you would expect, good free throw shooting team are the Broncos.
Yeah, that's still above their average. Inside of 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Hayden thought about it, instead drives, contested shot, well off the mark, and a Santa Clara rebound.
Let's see if Pepperdine goes back to this zone, which it looks like they are. Send someone to the middle here, and you got to look for those back cuts.
Here's Kadee, a wing three off the back rim, and a long rebound to Caton.
The Broncos seem to be in some sort of 2-3 as well out of the break. Let's see what they do here.
Despite that miss, Santa Clara 7 of 14 from three-point range tonight. Caton misses the three there, but Pepperdine The offensive rebound. 50-point Broncos lead here. Third quarter action. Here's a cutting Malone.
Good back cut by Malone, but better defense there by Schaefer, just staying solid, not fouling there. That's the key on possessions like that. Make her make a tough 7-foot floater there. Don't give her a free trip to the charity stripe.
Friend and Ross back in now for the Waves. Latu returning for the Broncos. Latu joined on the floor by Schaefer, Kadee, Edmondson, and Narrow on the Santa Clara side. Likely going to see a lot of the Broncos bench given the score in the fourth quarter. Schaefer operating underneath. She's got 6 off the bench.
Well, they gave it in to Edmonds, finally able to get it to the middle. Schaefer was rewarded with a one-on-one opportunity at the low block, which he's going to take advantage of all day.
15-2 Broncos run over the last 5 minutes. As we get a Santa Clara foul here.
Good aggressive drive there from Caton. Not going to be free throws, though. Will be a baseline inbounds.
What a quick look at that upcoming schedule here for Santa Clara. USF coming in on Saturday. That's always a good game, a rivalry matchup between a couple of Bay Area schools. And that'll be another kind of revenge-oriented game for the Broncos.
Absolutely.
The Dons had the Broncos number last year. And then the third game of this homestand, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, who the Broncos just played last week. They'll see Gonzaga for a second time already in this month of January. And if you recall last year, the Broncos beat the Zags on this floor, which was the first time that Santa Clara knocked off Gonzaga under head coach Bill Carr.
Yeah, they came out flat when they played Gonzaga just a short while ago. Hopefully they get a better look when they come into Santa Clara. But Gonzaga's always the measuring stick. Men's and women's, they are always the standard. Great to play them and just see where you really line up. Because if you can play well against them, you can play well against anybody.
Here's a baseline turnaround jumper from Harkey. Harkey's got a nice touch. And 6 points for the Waves. Transfer from Xavier. It's a 50-point margin here with a minute and a half left in quarter number 3. Broncos have not really slowed up here in the second half as they rotate the ball to Edmondson. Had a good look at a corner 3, but it rattles out.
Looked like maybe a carry there. Refs don't see it.
Pepperdine keeping possession. Driving was Harkey, but she left it short. Everything but the finish there for Megan Harkey. Now Maddie Narrow, nobody cuts her off, and she finishes.
Narrow comes from a family of basketball savants. Her grandfather was Rick Adelman, who's in the NBA Hall of Fame as a coach.
I saw the family hosted the whole team when the Broncos were up in Portland last week.
Always great to see, you know, freshmen coming in and just getting acclimated right away.
73-21 Santa Clara. Deep 3 from Caton is too long. Offensive rebound though for Ross. Final half minute here of the third quarter. This is Malone with the dribble. 7 to shoot. Going around Narrow. Now we'll kick it out into the corner. And Caton is fouled on the 3-point attempt with 9.3 seconds on the game clock. Latu got a piece of the arm, and we've got 3 free throws coming.
Yeah, in games like this where you're getting a little more run for the other players who are kind of out of the rotation, those are mistakes you really don't want to make. The coaches will remember this stuff like that.
So free throws coming here for Caton, who's got 3 points tonight off the bench. There's the Pepperdine upcoming schedule, by the way. Doesn't get much easier for them. They're at Pacific on Saturday. We saw the Tigers here at the Leavey Center a couple of weeks ago. That's a good team. Then they've got Portland after that. One of the contenders you'd expect in the conference this year. You see that February 3rd game will be the rematch between Pepperdine and Santa Clara down in Malibu.
Yeah, they're in a tough stretch right now on the road. They need to really settle down, just kind of find their rhythm offensively, really just limiting those turnovers. I know the shots aren't falling tonight, but that's going to come and go. But what you can always be better is just be more careful with the ball.
2 out of 3 at the line for Caton. Final seconds here of the quarter. Narrow with it. Out to Hudgens. Hudgens dumps it down to Schaefer, and at the horn, a basket for Emma Schaefer.
Man, fee-fi-fo, some team basketball there. Everyone getting touches. Great job, late clock execution.
It is a 52-point Santa Clara lead, 75-23. Fourth quarter action is next. We begin the fourth quarter here at the Leavey Center with the Broncos a commanding 75-23 lead. No drop off in the shooting numbers for Santa Clara through 3 quarters. Shot it at 70% from the floor. Just 27% shooting for Pepperdine. Waves did do a better job taking care of the basketball in that third quarter. Just haven't gotten much to fall here tonight. Harkey has been a bright spot, and she's got 2 more.
She's done a nice job just coming off the bench, getting in some action. Waves are back, right back to that zone. Gave the Broncos a little bit of trouble. Definitely didn't have their offensive spark as much in that third quarter.
Broncos do have 4 starters now back in the game, as Olivia Pollard's corner 3 is no good. Pollard didn't score in that third quarter. She didn't play a whole lot in the third, but a career high 23 points in the first half.
Had a
for
chance
Olivia.
to kind of cool off there.
That one rims out. Offensive rebound, though, for Pepperdine, and we'll get a Santa Clara foul underneath. Will be on Hudgens.
You know, that's a credit to Kelsey Kaiser. You're down 50 in this ball game, and you got 2 of your Pepperdine players crashing the offensive glass. That's what you love to see. That's great coaching. You know, and that's stuff you can build on. Stuff like that, stuff, the extra efforts. That leads into winning down the line.
Driving baseline, Masher comes up short. Another offensive rebound, though, and another Santa Clara foul. And free throws will be coming.
Second personal, second team.
I think Pollard thought she had another block there. That looked like it was almost all ball. Refs don't see it that way. Be 2 at the stripe.
Now look, this is how Pepperdine is going to win games, crashing the glass, using their size advantage. Just haven't been able to do much of it tonight, at least until here very recently.
Were you surprised, Joe, at the start that they didn't really go to that size advantage you're talking about, you know, pound the ball inside a little bit more?
Yeah, I was. I also think they just kind of got knocked off their game. Those 3 threes in a row from Olivia Pollard.
Absolutely.
And once this Santa Clara team, especially on this floor, gets rolling, we've seen it all year, but they're almost impossible to stop.
The Boston Celtics of women's basketball right here, women's college basketball, both teams undefeated at home.
Here's a 3-point attempt off the back rim from Griffiths. Another second chance opportunity, though, for Pepperdine.
Yeah, long rebounds. Guards need to box out, find a body, don't look at the ball.
Here's Masher, 7 to shoot. Griffiths turns, spins inside the free throw line, rather, but misses.
$100 move, 1-cent finish right there.
8 minutes to go in this game with the Broncos up 75-26. Pepperdine still in the zone defense. Cross-court pass to Hudgens. Misses the 3, and we'll get an over-the-back foul call on Pollard.
Well, for everything that went right for Pollard, I guess it's kind of evening out here for her in the fourth quarter. 2 kind of lackluster calls there, but she still playing with a lot of grit, still giving out a lot of effort here in this fourth quarter.
3rd foul on Pollard. Broncos have yet to score in this fourth quarter, but still the 49-point advantage. Griffiths hands off to Friend. Friend's shot, though, no good, and a Santa Clara rebound.
Friend, one of their better scorers, has just been cold tonight. Hasn't gotten anything going, three-pointer or mid-range.
This zone has given the Broncos some trouble here the last few minutes.
Yeah, I bet that's what they'll be working on in practice.
And from the Pepperdine perspective, maybe thinking, why didn't we go to it a little bit sooner?
Absolutely.
It'll be something to keep in mind when these teams meet again in about 3 weeks. Here's Pollard cutting to the free throw line. No good. Hudgens tips the rebound, controlled though by Pepperdine, and we're going to get another Santa Clara foul.
That's a good job by Pollard, though. Nothing really going. The ball's moving kind of around the horn, so she takes it into her own hands to flash right to the free throw line, catches, and has a wide open, 15-footer. That's what you want to see when you play against the zone. Stuff like that. Heads up play by Pollard.
Schaefer, Kadee, Latu, and Narrow all check back in for Santa Clara. 6:45 left in this game as that one rims in for Addie Malone.
Malone more of a passer, but with her handles, I'm sure she could get herself a couple of looks on her own. Very good with the rock in her hands.
Her first points tonight. As we get a kick ball, Broncos will keep it. 6:29 on the clock. Waves have outscored Santa Clara 5-0 here in the fourth quarter. Broncos led by Olivia Pollard's 23, all in the first half. 17 from Heel, 10 for Hiraki, 3 players in double figures. Pepperdine led by Harkey's 8 off the bench. Shooting has cooled off a bit here in this final stanza for Santa Clara, as Mariah Hudgens changing that. A corner 3. 7 for Hudgens and her first 3 of the night.
Little blues on the corner there for Hudgens. Another way to break the zone, hit your outside shot. That's a little easier.
Back to a 50-point Broncos advantage inside of 6 minutes left in this game now. And it has been all Santa Clara tonight. Pepperdine just can't get anything to go from deep, and then an offensive rebound, Ross, and it's swatted out of bounds by Hudgens.
Yeah, Hudgens said no soup for you. Hustling Hudgens is what I like to call her. Always working on the defensive end, and she does a great job moving off ball on the offensive end.
Spinning is Griffiths, and she draws the foul.
Nice footwork there from Griffiths, excuse me, and will get rewarded at the stripe.
Pepperdine getting to the line here in the fourth quarter. Second foul on Latu. And Griffiths, who has not scored yet tonight. A couple of free throws coming.
Holly, one of the Australian players for the Pepperdine, got to meet with Jade Kadee before the game. They hugged, and Broncos have 5 players from Australia, so good to see them kind of reunite before the game.
1 out of 2 at the line for Griffiths. 78-29, the Santa Clara advantage. Broncos on their way here to evening up their conference record, as Jade Kadee's 3-point shot, no good, but there's Emma Schaefer again, and Schaefer becomes the 4th Bronco into double digits. She's got 10.
You would think she was on defense with how she got positioned there, just had great position for the rebound. She was the one boxing out, was the aggressor.
She's got 7 rebounds as well, Emma Schaefer, to lead all Broncos in this game. There's a nice move from Griffiths, and she's headed right back to the free throw line. Foul on Hudgens. And that will bring us to our final media timeout of the night. 4:59 remains. Santa Clara leading 80-29. Broncos with the big lead here over the Pepperdine Waves. Mid-fourth quarter from the Leavey Center. And Holly Griffiths, who just split a couple of free throws, will get 2 more here. Griffiths averages about 3 points per game off the Pepperdine bench. Again, splits the free throws. Another rebound for Schaefer, and a 50-point Santa Clara lead. This could go down as one of the largest margins of victory in a conference game for Santa Clara. When it's all said and done, Schaefer gets swarmed underneath and a Pepperdine steal. Here's Masher driving. We get a foul call here. I'll say no basket. And free throws coming with Santa Clara over the limit.
Hudgens did a nice job there flashing to the middle, but she went right to Schaefer even though she had 2 defenders on her. That's the right play 9 out of 10 times, but the Pepperdine Waves were keen in on that. If she would have looked to her left corner in the far corner, she had a wide open 3-point shooter there. So a big eye-opening thing here for the Broncos working against this zone. I think something they have to work in practice, which is great. You know, you win a game by almost what could be 60 points here, and you come out of it thinking, you know, I don't know what to work on. But they definitely do.
Well, you sound like a coach almost, where it's good to have something that can catch your team's attention in practice the next day. Here's some pressure that's giving the Broncos some fits, and they don't get it across the line in time. A 10-second call.
Joe, man, you got to love the hustle from Pepperdine. Down here by 48 points, showing some full court pressure and getting hyped up when they get the 10-second call. That's great coaching.
Rafaela Strugacki, by the way, is just checked in for Santa Clara. .48 Broncos lead, nearing the 4-minute mark here in this fourth quarter. Another 3-point attempt from Malone is too long. Pepperdine 0 of 12 from distance in this game. Haven't gotten anything going from deep.
Yeah, they're 9th in the WCC in 3-point percentage, which is last in the conference. Hopefully they can get the shooting going at some point in the season.
The bounce pass down low to Schaefer. It gets knocked away. Broncos reclaim possession. Narrows open, and she hits the 3.
Winning plays. Schaefer on the offensive glass there on the floor, and then it leads to points on the board. Great job there by Schaefer, spilling to the deck late in the fourth quarter. Love to see that.
That's the Broncos' 9th made 3 tonight, the first for Maddie Narrow. Pepperdine looking to answer. Another miss, though, from Friend, and a Santa Clara rebound. Here's Latu. Thought about the 3, drives, gets cut off. 3 minutes left in the game. Strugacki, nice bounce pass to Schaefer, and she's hammered. And will shoot 2.
You know, this second unit for the Broncos, this 5 out on the floor, really haven't played a whole lot together. But watching them play, man, they're playing in practice at least something together. They are moving the ball well, knowing where players are at the right times.
And Emma Schaefer, who's had a really nice night for Santa Clara, will get a couple of free throws. She's 1 rebound away from a double-double. 10 points, 9 rebounds in this one.
Well deserved for her. She has been battling on the boards all night.
1 out of 2 at the line for Schaefer. Inside of 3 minutes remaining in this one. Broncos went on a 21-0 run through the last 5 minutes of the first quarter and the first couple of minutes of the second quarter, and just haven't looked back and have controlled this game ever since. Right now up by 50. Narrow, a little loose with the dribble, does find Jade Kadee, and she hits one from 3.
Killer Jade putting the exclamation points here on this game. If you are Pepperdine, you really want to look back at the defense. You're giving up a lot of big runs, and I know the offense is a big sticking point. You're only putting up 34 points, but you can't be giving up this many long runs consecutively against good teams.
Uncharacteristic for this Pepperdine team. They have been one of the best defensive teams in the WCC the first half of the season. As we get a foul away from the ball, is going to be on Schaefer. And with Pepperdine in the bonus, they'll shoot a couple of free throws. Meanwhile, Mariah Hudgens back in, replacing Jade Kadee.
Kadee there grabbing her knee after she made that three. Hopefully she's okay. Nothing too serious, it seems, for her.
Megan Harkey will shoot a couple of free throws. And Pepperdine's leading scorer tonight. Harkey averages about 4.5 points per game. She's got 9 now in this one. Was starting earlier in the year, now coming off the bench. And with 2 free throws, becomes the first Pepperdine player into double figures this evening. More full court pressure. The Broncos break it this time. Inside of 2 minutes left, 87-36, the Santa Clara lead.
Great backdoor cut there from Strugaki. They didn't find her, but she's running that baseline, which is good to see.
Here's Schaefer posting up. Over to Strugaki. Tried to swing it to Latu. Wasn't really looking for it. And a turnover.
Good defense there from the Waves. Broncos did have a couple open looks there. Couldn't find them. So, again, trouble against the zone here for the Broncos.
Broncos defense, though, it's been excellent all night. They've held Pepperdine to only 36 points here this evening. There's a free throw line jumper that rims out from Brody.
There's the double-double, too, for Schaefer. Nice to see her get that 10th rebound.
Indeed, 11 and 10 for Schaefer tonight with 1 minute left in this game. Pepperdine has been in this zone since late in the third quarter. They've slowed up the Broncos offense late, but a nice move there and a basket for Mariah Hudgens.
We said it earlier, Mariah Hudgens moves without the basketball. For every young player watching, that is key. That's how you get minutes in this game. Always be cutting, always be active, never stand still.
And we get a kickball here with 41.5 seconds left. And the Broncos are back in action on Saturday afternoon. They'll be hosting San Francisco here at the Leavey Center, a 1 p.m. tip time here on ESPN+. It's a USF team. It's off to a real nice start, 3-1 in conference play. Be a good matchup here on Saturday afternoon.
Nice little ball don't lie there moment for Bill Carr. Didn't think that was a kick ball, and they get the ball right back.
Still working the refs in the final minute.
Love it.
A 50-plus point lead.
That's a coach who just loves the game.
Here's Latu, open for 3. Off the back rim. Schaefer still working hard. An offensive rebound. And the 3 is good from Narrow.
All universe for the Broncos tonight. Inside, outside, Schaefer again getting the board. Leads to 3 more. Because why not for the Broncos?
11 threes, and Santa Clara will shoot it at 66% in this game as they dominate the Pepperdine Waves 92-36. A 56-point win as Santa Clara bounces back in a big way here back at home.
Yeah, so it'll be good to see them on the rematch. Pepperdine maybe plays that zone, you know, kind of get situated there. They go down to Malibu. That'll be a fun game to watch.
And that'll be in a few weeks when these teams meet again. Pepperdine up next, continues their road trip. They'll be over in Stockton on Saturday to take on Pacific. We mentioned Santa Clara. Their 3-game homestand continues with a matchup against rival San Francisco here on Saturday afternoon. The Broncos improved to 14-5 overall. And we said it, you got to defend your home court. And now 7-0 here at the Leavey Center this year, taking care of business. Didn't always happen last season. Much better in that regard here this year.
Yeah, great job for them. Winning the games you need to win. And if you want to make the tourney, the journey to the tourney, it starts like this. Winning these games against opponents like this. But they have stuff they need to work on, even though they won here by almost 60 points.
Broncos were led by Olivia Pollard's 23. and all 23 coming in the first half. A new career high for Olivia Pollard. You talk about the player of the game here tonight, what she was able to do in that first half. I mean, pretty special stuff from the junior forward.
The first 3 threes she hit, I know you win this game by so much you don't look at those, but those were just tone-setting triples. You knock down 3 straight threes, you know, they gotta change their whole way they play defense. They gotta run you off the three-point line, opens up the inside, opens up the offensive glass. You know, then they have to switch to other defenses. That's awesome to see.
Joe Ritzo, Micah Paik here courtside. We wait for Broncos head coach Bill Carr. Ho-hum, another 17-point game for Tess Heel. Very efficient, 6 of 7 from the floor, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 4 assists as well. Got her teammates involved. The depth, impressive for this Broncos team, and we saw it across the board here tonight.
Yeah, the Melbourne Magician, you know, in the house that Steve Nash built, she plays a similar style, you know, shares the ball, gets everybody a chance to shoot, gets everybody a chance to interact in the game, and then when time needs it, it didn't really happen tonight, but she can go get those must-have buckets.
Ashley Haraki had 10 points, did it on both ends of the floor. And Emma Schaefer, 11 points, 11 rebounds. She got a lot of run here, 22 minutes off the bench, has become a valuable contributor off the bench for this Santa Clara team this year.
Yeah, you always need someone like that who can come off the bench and is not afraid to do the dirty work. I love playing with those players personally, and when you see it on a team like this, somebody who's willing to get in the mud, get those offensive glass, those are huge.
All right, we'll take a look now at the final stats here tonight, and just dominated by Santa Clara. They shoot it at 66%, just 25% for Pepperdine, including 0 out of 13 from a three-point range. Broncos were +8 in the rebounding margin. Pepperdine 17 turnovers, continue to struggle with that. 11 turnovers for Santa Clara today, as the Broncos win in dominant fashion. Joined now